Reed, even though my name is Dorothy Ann, which I hated. And so in the 8th grade, I changed it to Dot. The family, of course, did not call me Dot. I've lived in Desert Hot Springs since May of 1978. We moved here from North Hollywood, California. That's where I ended up, even though I was born and raised in Springfield, Illinois. Lived there until I was almost 16. Moved to Little Rock because of my father's business. And then that's where I got married in 1950. And my oldest child, my son, was born there. And then we moved around a bit and ended up back in Springfield. And were there until 1964, when the company that I worked with gave me a job in Phoenix. So we went to Phoenix, and then they moved me to North Hollywood, California. And that's when I told them I was done with them and got into a different type of business. And during that time, I divorced and remarried. I married my husband, Claude Reed, in 1974. And then he had an aunt and uncle who lived here in Desert Hot Springs, down on 5th Street. And we visited them a couple of times. And he made the comment that we should think about retiring there. And I said, to heck with retiring. I want to go now. And he said, oh, well, just calm down. Well, I don't calm down real well sometimes. So I went home, called a realtor, listed the house, and in 10 days it was sold. He had to move. So we came to Desert Hot Springs in May of 1978. In 1978, there were no traffic signals. There was only one stop sign at Palm and Pearson. There was one school, the elementary school, Desert Hot Springs, and there was no major grocery store. There was a little grocery store, and I think it was Horton's, down on Pearson. And I had to go to Palm Springs to Alpha Beta to shop. It's now Ralph's at Ramon and Sunrise. The fact that there were not things like that here didn't seem to bother me. I'd go where I needed to go. And I got around the city, the whole Coachella Valley very well. Doing Weight Watcher meetings all over the place and working with needle workshops all the way around from Palm Springs clear down to Indio. There was a needle workshop here owned by Maria Lehman, and her husband had a shop right next door to it with flooring, and it was on Palm Drive, where the stores are closed, all closed up now. I learned to do needlework as a child. My grandmother taught me how to embroidery, how to crochet, and would, if I embroidered something, she'd turn it over to the other side and she'd say, Doris, this is a mess. And so I learned to do better work so that the backside looked almost as good as the front. And I tried to use that all my life so that you weren't hiding mistakes, you fixed them. The change has been dramatic. When I came here and joined Soroptimist in 1980, every woman that belonged there was a businesswoman, either with her husband, mom and pop stores. There were a lot of those, and the mayor and his wife was a member, Faye Corsini, and Emily Novak owned a nice little shop that sold beautiful china and so forth, right down on Palm Drive. All of the women were business women. And one was a council member, B. Wolf, and there were just many different ones represented there. Elaine Harvey, she and her husband had a market out on Dillon. And Ann Hardy, who had a recovery home for teenagers, and it was her idea to start Soroptimist House of Hope in 1981. And I worked hard to raise funds and get that house up and running. Well, the thing that I am most proud of is Soroptimist House of Hope and helping women with substance use disorders. It started with we had nothing. We had to do fundraising to even pay people to work at House of Hope. It progressed well. We expanded and had another house in Banning. It is still in operation today. And we are expanding to be able to help more women. For all of these years, when we started, it was small. We would have up to 6 clients. And in 1984, after we started in 81, the county came to us and said, "We like your track record. We would like to send people here, and we will pay for them." Up until that time, everything was done with donations and help that was paid very little. And now, here we are ready to expand and hopefully help as many as 20 women at a time instead of 6. We have great people there now, and we bought another property. We sold the one in Banning, and we bought one. It's 3.75 acres, and with that, we are going to be able to help more women. And recently, Berger Foundation has an ad on there that they donated $50,000 to Soroptimist House of Hope. And so it's been on there since they gave it to us probably 2 or 3 months ago. And you can go to kesq.com and see the event where they gave us that donation. There's pictures and more information about House of Hope on there. But I've been on the board all of these years. I've worked on every fundraiser. I crocheted Afghans for years, and I would donate 2 for the live auction and bring in pretty good money on them. One year we got $450 each on 2 of them. And Patrick Evans is our MC. He does a fantastic job. And that's the thing I'm most proud of my work with Soroptimist House of Hope. And of course, the council made a big change. for some reason, I got busy and attended city council meetings and spoke under public comments almost every time about something that was going on, either with the Historical Society or House of Hope. You know, there's a fundraiser, we want to sell tickets to you. I was just there all the time. And the first mayor that I really remember was Matt Wyuker, and he nominated or appointed me, or whatever you would want to say, as for an award as Senior Inspiration Award. That was really special. When Gary Bosworth passed, they didn't know whether they were going to hold an election for another council member or appoint one. And I received a phone call one day asking me to make out an application for the council. I said, I don't want to be on the city council. Well, no, that's okay, just fill it out. We want to fill the field. They had people that they didn't want to appoint. Well, that went along for a while, and they'd say, yes, we're going to have an election. No, we're not. We're going to appoint, back and forth. And then one day, a man asked to take me to lunch on a Saturday, and I said, okay. And he told me that on Tuesday, you're going to be appointed to the city council. Alex Bias was mayor at that time, and Yvonne Parks was on the council, and Mary Stevens. And Anne Marie, I can't remember her last name, was city manager. And I think they cooked this up, that one of them, I think Mary Stevens was the one that moved to appoint me, and Yvonne is probably the one that seconded it. And Alex had to take a vote, and it was 4-1. Well, of course, it passed. And then he looked at me, and I was sitting down in the front row. He said, don't you have enough to do? And I said, no. You ask a busy person, you get the job done. So for 5 months, I served on city council, and I swear I would never run for city council or any office because of all of the stuff people tell you you're supposed to do, and vote this way and vote that way. And I was very glad when Scott Mattis was elected for that seat. Well, while I was doing needlework, I belonged to 2 organizations called Embroiderers Guild and American Needlepoint Guild. And their meetings were in Redlands at the museum, the San Bernardino County Museum. And of course, I was always glad to get back here because there wasn't the traffic and, you know, hustle bustle that there was there. But along with these 2 organizations, they both had seminars in big cities. And of course, with what I was doing, I needed to meet people and learn new things. So I went to several different ones. One was in Atlanta, one right outside of Chicago, Libertyville, many different places around, up in Ventura, and a lot of times I was on the committee planning it. So I was all over the place. And one of the best things that happened, people knew me as a finisher, and both of these organizations knew me. And one year, the First Lady decided that she wanted to decorate the tree in the White House with mini Christmas stockings, just little ones, and asked people to design them according to the Nutcracker. And then people would stitch them, and then I was asked to finish them, only 12 of them, that would go on the tree. And I did. And with that, I got an invitation to the White House to see the Christmas tree and all of their Christmas decorations. Ellie Dulé and I, of course I didn't plan on going, but Ellie was working in travel at that time. She made reservations and she said, we're going. It was in December, and I had lots of work that had to be done before Christmas. But we did. We went there, saw so many of my friends from all over the country that did needlework and that I had met in seminars, and got to tour the White House and see the tree, and was able to see stockings that I had done. I have a nice big framed information about that trip, a picture of the Christmas tree, the write-up in the newspaper, the invitation, and the thank you note from the president for doing them. So that was quite an experience. I think it was on the Monday. The tour was on a Saturday, and we flew back on Monday, and just as we took off, it started snowing. And we got back to Palm Springs, and it was the day for the Christmas party for House of Hope. So I didn't go home. I went to the party before I went on home. They used to have a Parks and Recreation Commission, and they changed it to Community and Cultural Affairs Commission. And I applied to be on that commission, and I made it. I got there. And we met once a month, and one of the members, one of the men, said we should have a Veterans Park. Okay, so what was his name? Adam Sanchez was on that commission, and he didn't know a lot about the Brown Act. He didn't do things the way he should, but at any rate, he put me on the committee with two men. And so we decided to do the park on Palm Drive. So we needed to raise funds to do the park. Well, one man moved away, and the other one, for some reason, wasn't doing much. So I got out, visited American Legion, VFW, all of those places to help raise funds for the park. And we opened the park in, '04. I've always considered it my park. I have a son who lives in Phoenix, and I have 4 daughters. 2 live in Utah, 1 in Missouri, and 1 in Scottsdale, Arizona. My youngest daughter moved here with me. She was 16 at the time. My oldest daughter moved here for a while in the 80s. She worked for SkyWest Airlines, and she moved up to Utah. My youngest daughter, who lived here in Desert Hot Springs for a while, and then they moved to Missouri. Any relatives here, but one of my daughters from Utah has been visiting me almost every 6 weeks or so, and has been a very big help for me. And my oldest daughter and her husband come here about every 3 months just for a few days to help me with some things. And my daughter from Missouri, the youngest one, comes twice a year to spend about a week with me. I am very blessed with a great family. I have 8 grandchildren, 15 great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandsons, and a great-great-granddaughter that will be born in November. I have 5 generations. The 23rd of this year, my daughters put on a birthday party for me, because I like birthday parties. But it was, please, no gifts, only donations to House of Hope. And we had it at Vista, Montana, and we had about 45 people, some family, some friends. Jan Pye was there. It was very nice, and we raised $13,000 for House of Hope. In 2020, when it was the pandemic, I did my birthday party online, and I raised $9,000 on that one. I started these birthday parties only because when I was little, I didn't have a birthday party until I was 13, and I could only invite 3 girlfriends over. So when I got to be 75, it was also an anniversary of when I joined Soroptimist. That was 25 years. So I had a birthday party and raised money for House of Hope that year. And then at 80 and 85 and 90 and now 95. And I'll tell you then a couple of other awards that I've received. Rotary gave me an award one year, and I was surprised because Adam Sanchez was president, and he and I didn't get along too well. But they gave me an award for service above self. And the other one from the Chamber of Commerce, when we had a Chamber of Commerce here, was Citizen of the Year. So I've got all those things hanging up. And last December and January, I ended up going to the ER a couple of times. And you know, when the paramedics come into your house, they look at everything. They ask me questions about all of those things. The senior inspiration, the trip to the White House, they were asking all those questions. And so I gave them brownies.